from theresamonro.com, and I am here with your energy update for June 2018. Funny, because I almost said 2016, which is an interesting time because coming into, yeah, it was interesting. I think it was about 2.5 years ago we were dealing with some of this energy. However, it shifted us in a different kind of way. So here we are. Those of you that have been patient, thank you very, very much. It is appreciated. So apologies for some of the visual distractions that are here. I'm realizing as I'm filming there's some things that I would have liked to have left out, but that isn't what ends up happening. Interesting metaphor there. So those of you that have been patient, thank you very, very much. And if this is something that resonates with you, please give it a like, a share, a thumbs up. That helps it to get views and for other people to be assisted with this as well. So this is a doozy, and it's been interesting because there's been a giant metaphor with this because my phone completely got demolished. So interesting story with that because with myself, the feminine, in my particular aspect, I won't say that. What I will say is that the masculine kind of energy in my life is more electronic versus the feminine being more magnetic, right? So I was forced to take a break from electronics. It was Callie who came in and she dropped my phone on the ground, which is interesting because it's dropped so many times and there's never been a problem. I've even thrown it one time, which I've done one time in my entire life, but I was channeling somebody else's stuff, mirroring something back to them that they weren't willing to take a look at and something that they were judging within them, and I was making a point. So anyway, it was fine. Then this time Callie comes in, it's sitting on the table, I don't even touch it, and she goes bloop right on the side. It was fully protected. And it was going to end up being just a screen replacement. And I was like, okay. And then I ended up there, and the girl at the phone store, I see Callie standing behind her like she does, and Callie's arms come up, and I'm going, oh, here we go. So, and I'm like, oh God, this is going to be more than just a screen crashing. So what ends up happening is I end up delivering a message about, from the broken phone with all the, the distortions and things. You guys may have seen that particular video. And she ends up with the phone magically dropping from her hands. And it was more, I saw Callie drop it. And the entire thing just completely shattered with the case on it. And I'm just going, okay. She's like, you need to take a break from your work. You need to take a 3-day break from working with the masculine. You need to take a 3-day break from all of it and just go have fun, okay? Place your focus on fun, because sometimes with this work, it's like when you're working for yourself, you end up answering all kinds of emails, like at random times of day when they come in. It's like sometimes placing boundaries around when you're available for others is important. So this is something that's going to be coming up for some of you, okay? This is a bit of a doozy of an energy update. We have some energy that started coming into the planet. I wrote about it in a blog post that was, I think, about the 22nd of April. And they brought this to my attention. And they said, there's about to be some intensity and it's going to force things to shift that really need to. And I said, okay. Well, we really felt it about the 29th. Maybe you've brought it up for the really sensitive intuitives about a week prior to that. But really what they were mentioning, and those that are a little bit more sensitive to the collective, started feeling this energy around the 30th, the 29th or 30th of April. So it really comes in full force in the end of June, okay? This affects partnerships of all kinds, whether they're business or personal or romantic or otherwise, in any kind of relationship or partnership involving men, okay? This is sometimes those who embody a masculine, more masculine, aspect of themselves. This is all kinds of men on the planet. This isn't any particular soul group. This is it's funny because the angels and beings of light are here and they're really excited about this because of the opportunity that it's bringing. Now, there's something that I do on the side where, and it's something I may end up getting to offer publicly at some point. But currently, I'm helping out a friend, and I receive calls for, intuitive assistance. There's about 90 calls a week right now, and it's been going on for about 3 weeks. And it's interesting because I knew that these patterns were going to be coming up as of the 30th of April, but since then, actually since, yeah, I guess it was closer to about 2 weeks ago, I guess mid-May, when they were like, okay, here's what's really happening. And I started seeing the reflections with the phone calls and of women calling because their business partner, their man in their life, romantic or however, a lot of them romantic, and I'm checking in the records, like the Akashic records, and seeing like some of the most stable relationships, the most stable men are even affected by this. And it's beautiful. And I want to tell you about it, and I'm going to give instructions for the women or guidance for the women from the beings of light. This is super fabulous because what's going to happen is the men are kind of retreating just a little bit. All right. Now, typically what's happening is some of the women are going, some are retreating to the point or even using the words of, I just want to be by myself. I just want to do this on my own. And some of them not knowing that it's going to be temporary and they think it's long term have kind of cut some relationships. Business partnerships, romantic relationships. Your brother may be, taking him back. Any women that are embodying a masculine aspect, you may be noticing taking a step back. And that's because they're going really internal, which is something typically women do. Now, no, they're going so inside of themselves. I'm going to tell you in a minute what they're processing. They're going so far inside themselves that it's almost like unnerving, because usually that only happens when they, want to break up with you, okay? This inward time for men is really beautiful. And these beings of light, I'm telling you, are super excited because it's putting them in a position. Guys, I want to tell you, men that are watching, okay, if you know a man in your life that maybe is dealing with this, please share this with them if they're open to receiving some guidance. This is really cool, and I forgot exactly what I was going to say. It's some growing pains for them. And it's okay if they want to go internally and, no, I do it on my own. Like toddlers do, just let them, because it's really intense. And sometimes they don't even know what's happening. Some of them do know what's happening. And I love it because a lot of them who are coming to me asking for support, or even ones I'm giving support who haven't asked for it, which is total no-no, but sometimes that's how it works. Some of them really know what's going on, but they think it's long term and they don't know how long it's happening for. This is going to be affecting them through August, and you'll start to see some of them come out of it end of August into September, but some of them possibly through like November. So if you've had a man in your life, kind of take a step back a little bit, and you're in a super stable partnership or super stable relationship of some kind with them, a lot of them are going to be coming back, and they're going to be more open-hearted. They're how they relate to women will be different, and the level of service they're going to be providing women will be fantastic. Even I've seen posts from women recently that are just upset because they're not receiving the support that they're used to. So for the women, this is just temporary for you, where you're going to feeling unsupported. So this is a time where men possibly are going to want more support from other men, looking to see what's going on. Women, here's the one thing I'm going to recommend you, because this may be a time where it feels difficult because your usual support system is not there through, a male in your life. Get together with your girlfriends and have fun. You guys, it's temporary. I promise you that. So they're going to be coming back around, and you're going to love who they are when they come back. So it'll be good. It'll give them some space for you to be able to process if you can go out and do some fun stuff with your girlfriends. Now, some of the women are going to be wrapped up with, I don't have the support that I want and all that. And that's common. It's, you know, it's because they're pulling back to a point where we're not used to, where we start to get a little uncomfortable. And so there's a little bit of time of going, okay, everything's okay. There's ebbs and flows. We're just going to take a time out here, and I'm just going to go do some other fun stuff. This is a perfect time this summer to go do some stuff with my girlfriends. If you usually get nagged about taking your girl trips, I can pretty much guarantee you this summer you won't be. Okay? That I'm going to tell you. So if you've been wanting to take a girlfriend trip, or you want to go do things with the girls, go do it. And make sure that it's like no complaint time, you know? And something else that they're mentioning right now is think happy thoughts about the men. Think positive about them, because that will help them come around more often. You can send them love, like be their cheerleader right now, you know? Don't say, oh, well, you know, he disappeared, so he needs to be the one to come back. It's like, he will, but it's going to be a while. So, you know, if you have the energy for it, without any expectation, just saying, I'm just going to give this man some love because I know he's going through it. I know these are some pretty serious growing pains, okay? And these are times like women have been waiting for. And so just to give you a little bit of a description, this is a time where a large masculine portion of the collective is pulling back, okay? Some are going to be hit a little bit more hard than others with this. And that's okay because they're going to be getting through it. I guarantee you it's going to be great. So here's some of the things that they're working on. Men are finding more reintegration within themselves. Figuring out, like, what is the masculine? Redefining that. What is it to be a man? What are those traits? Like, redefining all of the ideas around the divine masculine. Okay? And realigning with that. Who am I as a man? How does that translate in the world? How do I want to express myself in a man? Does that include like old 3D beliefs or the new 5D relationship, you know, template ideas and what that looks like? What does it mean to be in partnership as a man? What does it mean to support a woman? What does it mean to support the feminine? What does it mean? Because there has been, especially with particular movements on this planet, the men have been feeling bashed. Okay? I just saw 1313 on here, which is usually the divine feminine. The divine feminine will never bash the divine masculine. That is an old abuse of the patriarchal paradigm. Be their cheerleader. It's like, when I used to lifeguard when I was younger, I found something when the angels were talking to me. They were like, you notice when you're yelling at kids and you state, don't run! You don't want them to run, right? They weren't always listening. And they would hear you, but the action wouldn't change, which translates to they're not hearing you, they're ignoring you. They didn't know what you wanted them to do. So providing them with positive instructions like walk, and then they always walked 100% of the time. And then they look at you and they're like, oh, sorry. You know, like they get excited and they're running and stuff. So interesting that they're using that word. But however, so give them praise when they're doing, you know, things that you really like right now. Provide them with the support if that's something you're feeling guided to do. Do it without expecting something in return. And that's going to be helpful for you. Because this is very, very powerful energy, and it's truly liberating for both parties. This is a form of masculine liberation that's happening. And some may say, well, the male have been, you know, liberated, but they haven't been. It's been an abuse of the masculine paradigm, use of power, and it's been abuse of the feminine as well. It was both parties. It wasn't one bashing on the other. These were roles that everybody as part of the Blu-ray lessons that started 26,000 years ago, signed up for. Okay? There's a lot being cleared out. There's a lot of catalysts that people sometimes want to blame that are masculine, that have signed up, that are avatars on this planet, that have signed up for these roles to help shift things, you know? For the men that have been, you know, dealing with a lot of thoughts, those things are shifting. Part of that is because some of you are empathic and have been picking up on the thoughts of others. Some of this is ancestral thoughts that aren't even yours about what it is to be a man or what you're worried about, or, you know, whether or not you need to provide money for something for a woman. What is your role? What are you comfortable with? Is that feminine? You know, all of that is coming up. Some of those thoughts are also thoughts you're picking up in the collective. Okay? They just show me 1600. It's interesting how these numbers start to show up. Okay? Men are going to need their space to process this. Sometimes they're going to dive into work so that they can take a break from their thoughts. Okay? 1616. The thoughts are going to be shifting out. Okay? That's going to be the neat thing coming out at the end of this. Their thoughts and internal dialogue is going to be completely shifted. Their ability to communicate is going to be different. Their internal fears are coming up. Some may have a little bit of anger. What I'm going to say is give them the space that they need. Check in on them. Have a little light dialogue. Don't force them to talk about something they don't want to. These are basic boundaries in relationships anyway, and sometimes when people force people to communicate things, there's something not being met internally, and that's just something that's going to have to be dealt with on the collective. They're showing me 1700. These numbers keep coming up. These are angel numbers that they're showing. They have 00, the number of, you know, support of the universe. These are big, big changes, okay? I'm excited for some of you that have been dealing with the overactive thoughts and things like that. For some of you, it's a little bit overwhelming, so you're pulling back because you can't deal with what the feminine's dealing with right now in terms of feeling abandoned and emotionally insecure because of what's happening. That's how she's going to react because she doesn't know. Interesting. They're doing a cleansing on the property right now. A lot of the angelic beings have shown up and the elementals and things, so that energy just shifted on the property where I'm at. But I'm excited for you, for the masculine, because you're going to be feeling really liberated and your thoughts shifting through this. A lot of you at the end of this are just going to be feeling like you got off a roller coaster. And they're showing me a roller coaster. And it's just so much smoother. So for the feminine, to make this easier for you, take a deep breath. I have, what is it? I'm going to show you my sprays right now, and then we're going to get back into this. We have a grounding spray. And this one is beautiful. It connects you down. These are all available on my website. The links are down below. The grounding spray connects you down into the earth. You can wear a lot of brown to help you with this. Connects you into the earth chakra, which is 12 inches below your feet, down into the center of the earth. This is for those of you, including the masculine, that may be feeling a little ungrounded. For some of you needing a little bit of faith in your life, there's the faith spray. This is an archangel. She is the Archangel assists, she is the counterpart of Michael and assists with personal power and faith. We have cleanse and shield for those of you that want to cleanse and shield your energy. Here's a couple sprays for you as well. Brings in all the archangels and race light associated. Here's the one for love. For some of you feeling unloved in the moment that are having issues that are coming up, this is helpful. And then I'm going to show you two more. Now, they want me to mention on the 17th, I believe it is, there is a healing session for the Divine Masculine. This is your relationship to men, your own relationship to your own masculinity, to Father God, and if that's something that you feel drawn towards, you're invited. Here comes the rain. Funny, right? Because here comes the sprays. So, we also have Serenity. It's beautiful how we're so supportive. Serenity brings peace. And then we have the Violet Flame. This one's for karmic clearing. Some of you are going to be clearing for the ancestral lines here in terms of, so the Divine Masculine's really coming into their power right now. okay? They're doing it first so that they can bring the divine feminine and to support them coming into their power later this year, okay? Be sure to trust and envision like a really positive outcome. And the rain is coming down so hard, I'm like considering stopping and shut the window, but just want to sit and enjoy this for a minute. Let it be like a spiritual cleansing for you. So yeah, it was interesting with the phone taking 3 days and just taking a detox from the phone, and I was so excited to like get to text somebody, and they know who they are if they're watching, and I'm just like, oh, I get to text you. It's been 3 days, so, which was much needed for me on my part to just go have fun and do things that I've been wanting to do for a long time. And I've watched some of my, female friends really, suffer through some of these things, and me having a different reaction, a slight suffering and picking up on that of others, but also going, I'm going to take this time and go focus on doing something I've been wanting to do. I've been upset because I haven't been able to do it with the masculine that I would prefer to at times. But when he's available, he comes around. Okay? It's just kind of how it works. So, females, take a break from the electronics if you can. That'll be helpful for you too. The grounding spray helps with that. I have a divine feminine spray. I have a divine masculine spray. If these are things that resonate with you, you're working with that particular energy that helps bring it into your auric field, so that it updates your genetic code for aligning with the divine masculine or aligning with the divine feminine within you. Sometimes they can feel what it is you're sending in terms of your thoughts. So keep them in your prayers, no matter who they are, and don't try not to do it so that you are receiving something in return. Okay? Try to do it just because you're like, yes, I'm sending my love and support to 2222, to the divine masculine on the planet, to the divine feminine on the planet as they're making through this shift. And I can hear one right now, and I know exactly who this is. It's somebody I know watching who's going, why do we have to make this so emotional? And it's just like, well, babe, that's part of it. That's how this works. Part of how this is. Some of you are going to be having emotions coming out. It's interesting because he's stating to me right now, put this in the energy update. Some of the men are going, why is this such an emotional process? But that's what it is. It's just why the mood swings. It's a good question. It's sweet. It's like he's sitting here with me. Why the mood swings. I think it's just more about being acceptance of change and the mood swings and what's happening because of the shifts are causing some of that. So some of you may be seeing mood shifts, within yourself or within the masculine. You may be seeing a little bit of pushiness. Try not to push. You may see it anyway because it's a bit of a long energetic transit. It's taken a few months. But to be quite honest with you, if humanity was trying to go through this shift, if the divine masculine was trying to go through this shift, interesting, they've got the mudras showing. This could take eons, but it isn't. It's taking months. So some of you do your violet flame work. If you are part of the masculine tribe and you're looking for feminine, you can't heal the masculine for them. This is something they have to go through themselves, something they want to say. You can't speed it along by trying to heal them so that you can feel better. There's some internal healing that you can do, but if you're part of the masculine tribe and you're looking for support here, there are some tools that I could teach you, especially around the violet flame, which would be really, really interesting. And there's there's a project that I'm working on to help you get more in touch with your own energy bodies. So watch out for that. So I'm just checking my notes over here. But some of the men are, because some of them it's a really big emotional commitment that they're not able to walk away from. They're going to need to take the space anyway. Some of them are needing to do it alone. But for some, it's about trying to get your needs met without having to walk away will be coming up as well. That's a doozy. You know, I understand. But it's a real, for those of you that can't get space, it's going to be a time, you're going to have to ask for it anyway. Even if it's taking lunches away, 25-25. Yeah. Some of the men are not having an easy time communicating that they're needing space. Some of them are. Some of them are going to be picky and choosy on when they return correspondence to you. The one thing that I can do is tell you to relax. The more relaxed and happy you are, the more that they're, you know, going to want to hang out. And that is not an introduction to give them the Spanish Inquisition and what's going on with them. Just focus on having fun for a while. They're coming back. Alright, let's see. Women, some of them I have seen going into full detective mode, figuring out what's happening. And that, you know, for the men that are a little bit bothered by that, it's happening because this is a natural aspect of the feminine when they're like, what is going on? Something just shifted. This is really big. They're feeling a little bit unsafe. Alright? But I'll tell you, for the feminine, some of the men don't know. Okay? For some of you women out there, these guys just... Some of them don't know. And some of them don't know how long it's going to take. But they know it's big. Okay? And some of these women you're going to hear saying, I just want my fun partner back. I don't even have to talk. But I relate to you. I get it. And so what they're showing me is try to have as much girlfriend time hanging out as you possibly can. Some of these women are not going to shift out of their mindset. And if they don't, that's when it's going to be more of a permanent break. Because this will be something... It's something that's going to be really important, is asking for space. Not knowing how long you're going to take and just say, I'll be back. You know, communicating that if you can. Some of you really need to. And some of you are doing a really great job of communicating that, and sometimes the women are just going, I still don't get what's happening. You know, so, yeah. Those women, you just try and understand and I try to explain to them there's this big transit happening on the planet right now, and the men are pulling away. And they'll be back sometime later this summer. So you may see them intermittently when they, you know, have the energy, or when there's kind of like an energetic pause button. 2800. I've never seen this many numbers before in one particular recording, but this is a really beautiful time. So I just want to reiterate to you that, you know, the masculine are really having some growing pains, and I'm so excited that this is happening, because there's been so many complaining that the men aren't awake, and it's just like everybody has their own internal, like, guidance from their own soul, from source. It's like, no matter who you are, you have it. You're never off path. You're never, I don't quite know how to say it, but it's, again, I want to reiterate, it's an inward time for men. Some of them may be getting together. For some of you men who know what's happening, it would be really great for you to get together with the other guys and say, okay, let's support one another through this. And if you still want to be by yourselves, it's okay. But try and get out and have as much fun, guys, as you can. It's okay to take breaks from the work, because that's even part of it, is how much of this is work and how much of this is play, and how much do I show up. But what I'm going to tell you is you guys are going to be there for the feminine and providing them more support, and for all the women in the world. And I'm excited to see you providing that, you know, so it'll be kind of amazing. I'm excited. 2929 showed up, so lots of energetic gateways coming through is what they're trying to say here. So if you want some extra support, I recommend showing up for the weekly Ray of Light transmissions. focusing on all kinds of things. There's the Divine Masculine one on the 17th of this month. They all shift. Like there's going to be one in July that's all about grounding, grounding into the earth energy, which is something that a lot of us are needing right now through this particular transit. These are times where you sometimes are going to see, he's saying right now to me telepathically, he's like, thank you for mentioning the mood swings. The mood swings are normal, even if you're a man. Oh, that's what he's wanting to clarify on. Even if you're a man and you're having mood swings, it's okay, because this is challenging who you are as a man, which is one of, portion of the ego, which is portion of description of who we are, 30-30. So you are supported by the divine, okay? I want to send you lots of love. I'm trying to check in and see if there's anything else I was supposed to mention. Yes. So like with the delay of this coming out, they wanted me to say thank you for your patience. So how this all played out in terms of, my stating boundaries around space to process, and thanking you for your patience and the likes and the shares and the subscribes and all of that, it's playing out within the collective. So if you need a spray, you're not sure what spray you want, contact my team, and we'll get with you. If you want some emotional support, or you want to understand further what's happening within your relationships that are business partnerships or however, you can get in contact with my team and we'll see what we can do to put together for you. All right, sending you lots of love. Have a fabulous month, and here we go, we're ending on 31-31. All right, lots of love. Bye.